You open a mutual fund app, you go to the equity section, and you think, what is the actual difference between half of these? Most people either pick randomly or they just go with whatever topped up their recent list. A Flexi Cap fund must invest at least 65% of its assets in equity or equity related instruments. SEBI mandates the multi-cap funds must invest a minimum of 25% each in large cap, in mid cap, and small cap stocks. Your own temperament tells you whether the investment philosophy matches who you are actually as an investor. They will frequently look wrong before they look right. Quick question. You open a mutual fund app, you go to the equity section, you see large cap, mid cap, small cap, flexi cap, multi cap, value fund, contra fund, focused fund. And you think, what is the actual difference between half of these? Most people either pick randomly or they just go with whatever topped up their recent list. Today, I want to fix that. We are going to go through the 4 fund types that most investors like you lump together: flexi cap, multi cap, value fund, and contra fund. And we are going to give you a clear specific answer for which one belongs to which kind of portfolio for you. Let us start with Flexi Cap because, as the name suggests, total flexibility, and people assume that means the fund is always perfectly positioned. Here is what Flexi Cap actually means under the SEBI's definition. A Flexi Cap fund must invest at least 65% of its assets in equity or equity related instruments. That is the only hard rule. There is no minimum required allocation to the large cap, mid cap, or small cap. The fund manager decides the split entirely. So, in a bull market, a skilled manager might shift towards the mid cap and small cap to capture the higher growth. And in a volatile market, the manager might pull the allocation towards the large cap for their stability. This sounds ideal, and in theory, it is. You are hiring a professional to dynamically manage your allocation. But here is the important reality check. Let's look at where most flexi cap funds actually invested as of recent months. On average, across the category, approx 63% of the portfolio was in large cap stocks, only about 20% was in mid cap, and roughly 15% was in small cap. So many flexi cap funds, as we can see, in practice are behaving quietly similar to a large cap heavy fund, with some mid and small cap sprinkled into it. That's not bad, by the way. It is not just dynamic, opportunistic reallocation that the category name implies itself. What does flexi cap suits the best in? Investors who want equity exposure across the market caps but don't want to make their allocation decision. You want a fund manager to handle the mix. You're comfortable with the outcome being driven by that manager's judgment as well. So what's the risk? The manager risk is high. The fund's character can change significantly when the fund manager changes. Always check who is running the flexi cap fund and how long they have been there, and compare the actual portfolio allocation, not just the category name. Two flexi cap funds from different AMCs can look completely different from the inside. Now, let's talk about the multi-cap. Multi-cap funds have a very different structure, and the difference matters enormously for you. SEBI mandates the multi-cap funds must invest a minimum of 25% each in large cap, 25% in mid cap, and 25% in small cap stocks. Always, regardless of the market conditions. The fund can allocate the remaining 25% wherever the manager decides for them. But those 3 minimums must be maintained. This means when the small cap stocks are getting crushed in the bear market, a multi-cap fund cannot exit the small cap the way a flexi cap fund can. It must maintain its minimum 25% allocation. This makes the multi-cap funds on average more volatile than flexi cap funds because they are permanently mandated to have the meaningful small and mid cap exposure. But, and this is the counter argument, that the same forced exposure means multi-cap funds tend to participate more fully in small and mid cap rallies as well. If the mid and small cap outperform for 2 to 3 years, which we have seen in the last post-COVID years, the multi-cap fund must hold them and therefore benefits more than a Flexi Cap fund that stayed conservative. Who is multi-cap suited for? Investors with a genuine 7+ years of horizon who want automatic exposure to all three market segments without having to decide the allocation themselves and without depending entirely on a manager's tactical judgment as well. The word to remember with multi-cap is forced diversification. It's not always comfortable for everyone. But over full market cycles, the forced diversification across the market caps has historically produced competitive returns. Compare multi-cap to Flexi Cap in one line. Flexi Cap trusts the manager. Multi-cap trusts the structure itself. The third one, value funds. The investment philosophy behind value funds is simple to explain and generally difficult to practice. The fund managers look for the companies that appear to be priced below their true worth for the reasons that the manager believes are temporary. The market has been too negative on these companies or this particular sector. It's out of the favor, unloved or underpriced. The manager buys it and waits for the market to eventually recognize the actual value of those particular stocks or the sector. The classic Indian example, if I have to put, in 2020, several PSU bank stocks were deeply out of favor. They were trading at a very low price to book valuations. The value funds that held significant positions in PSU banks in 2020 and 2021 deliver very strong returns as those stocks re-rated sharply over the next 2 years. But here is the patient test that value investing demands. Before 2017 and 2019, PSU banks were already out of the favor and continued to stay that, or rather got worse. A value fund manager holding them during that period looked wrong for the years before eventually looking right. Value investing requires you to be comfortable underperforming the benchmark for extended periods, sometimes 3 to 5 years as well, before the thesis finally plays out. Most retail investors like you and me are not actually comfortable with this, even if they think they are. When your value fund is flat for 24 months, while a growth fund has doubled, the emotional pressure to switch is intense. So who is a value fund suited for? The investors with a genuine 10+ years of horizon. Investors who have read about and understand contrarian investing. Investors who have genuinely experienced and held through a period of 12 to 24 months of fund underperformance without switching as well. It's not suited for someone who is looking for steady, consistent annual outperformance, not for someone who compares their fund returns every quarter. Value funds are not boring, but they are patient and they require patience from their investors as well. Contra funds are closely related to value funds and many investors confuse primarily both of these. Both approaches involve buying what the market has given upon. But the contra funds explicitly follow a contrarian philosophy. They may invest in sectors or the companies that are not just undervalued, but are actively unpopular, out of consensus, and sometimes in the middle of a crisis. A value fund manager might buy a company trading at 0.8x book value because the financial looks solid and the market is being irrational. A contra fund manager might buy a company or an entire sector for that matter that every analyst is actively downgrading, every news headline is negative about, and every institutional investor is exiting. The contra thesis says the crowd is overreacting. We are going on the other direction. SEBI treats contra funds and value funds similarly from a regulatory standpoint. An AMC can offer either one, not both of them, under the same category. In practice, the distinction between a well-run contra fund and a well-run value fund can be more philosophical than structural. What both share, they will frequently look wrong before they look right. They will underperform in the momentum-driven bull markets, where the growth stocks are running. They tend to shine where the markets mean revert after the periods of the excess. Both value and contra are for the same type of investors, the long horizon ones, emotionally resilient ones, and genuinely committed to their philosophies. It's not for someone who wants a predictable annual performance. So let me give you a clear decision tree. If you want equity exposure across all caps without making your own allocation decision, and you are comfortable with the manager-driven judgment, so Flexi Cap is for you. If you want mandatory forced diversification across large, mid and small cap, regardless of the market conditions, and you have a 7+ years of horizon, so multi-cap is for you. If you believe in buying undervalued companies can hold through years of underperformance as well, without panicking obviously, and have a 10+ years of horizon, then the value funds are for you. If you want the explicit contrarian position, buying what the market is most negative about, and you have the same long horizon and emotional resilience, then the Contra Fund is for you. Maybe one portfolio suggestion for the serious long-term investors could be the core allocation, a Nifty 500 index fund or the large cap active fund. This is your stability anchor. A satellite one would be a flexi cap or a multi-cap fund, depending on your preference for the manager flexibility versus the structural force diversification. Satellite 2 can be a value or contra fund if you genuinely understand the philosophy of both of these and have the patience both of them require. 3 funds, each with a clear and non-overlapping rule. And please avoid holding both flexi cap and multi cap in large proportions. There is significant overlap in multiple AMC companies. Pick one as per your satellite. The bottom line is the category name tells you the mandate. The actual portfolio tells you what the fund is doing. And the manager track record tells you whether the strategy has been executed well or not. And last but not the least, your own temperament tells you whether the investment philosophy matches who you are actually as an investor. Read all 3 before deciding. I am Akash Tiwari. See you in the another episode of Mutual Funds Investing by Kotak New.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.